All right, let's jump right in. Today we're going deep on marketing de conteúdo.
Yeah,
We're not starting from scratch, right?
of course. This is a deep dive for those who are already familiar with content marketing basics.
Exactly. We're dissecting a podcast episode from Digimarc.
They're a marketing company.
Right, and they had some seriously smart strategies.
Strategies you can use to boost your brand, so.
Think of this as like your fast track.
To becoming a content marketing pro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's about that sweet spot where good
Like
content...
smart SEO.
Yes. So how do you, level up your content game?
Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
Perfect.
Digimarc dives into this really interesting concept called off-page SEO.
Okay, off-page SEO.
You know how some websites just magically appear at the top of search results?
Right? Like, how does that even happen?
And it's often because of this behind-the-scenes magic.
Okay, I'm listening.
Imagine you've created this amazing blog post or video.
Yeah.
It's so good that other websites start linking to it.
Oh, like as a reference?
Exactly. And each of those links,
They're like votes,
yes, votes of confidence, telling search engines,
like Google.
yeah, hey, this content is valuable. People trust it.
Makes sense.
And the more those votes you get.
The higher you climb in those rankings.
Exactly.
So if your website is consistently at the top of search results,
For keywords related to your field,
that's a game changer.
absolutely. More visibility, more traffic.
And more people engaging with your brand.
Exactly.
Okay, so off-page SEO is important.
Now, Digimarc didn't just explain it.
They gave us some practical strategies too, right?
Yes. For instance, have you ever thought about creating evergreen content?
Evergreen content. Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's content that stays relevant over time.
Okay, so not like news articles or trendy topics.
Right, more like a foundational guide.
On a specific subject.
Think of it as a long-term investment.
You put in the work up front
And it just keeps attracting traffic.
for months, even years.
Exactly.
So it's like you're building a solid content base,
That you can refer back to.
which saves time and effort in the long run.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
Now, here's where it gets even more interesting.
Okay, lay it on me.
Digimarc also talked about 10x content.
Okay, 10x content, so not just good content.
It's about creating something 10 times better than anything else out there.
10x content. Honestly, it sounds a little intimidating.
Right.
It's easy to say, create amazing content, but how do you actually do that?
Well, it's definitely not about just slapping together a longer blog post.
Or adding some fancy graphics.
Exactly. It's about really digging deep.
Providing those unique insights.
And presenting information in a way that's both comprehensive,
And engaging.
think original research, expert interviews.
Maybe even interactive elements.
Exactly.
So like you could create a multi-part video series
I like that.
on a specific aspect of, your area of expertise.
Each video diving into a specific element.
With guest experts
case studies, demonstrations.
tailored to different skill levels.
Absolutely.
That would be pretty 10x, right?
You've hit the nail on the head. It's about creating a resource so valuable.
That people will save it
Share it.
and come back to it again and again.
Exactly.
Okay, 10x content. I'm starting to see the possibilities.
Good. Now, Digimarc also emphasized the power of storytelling.
Well, everybody loves a good story.
Right, but how does that translate into content marketing?
Yeah, I'm curious too.
It's all about making your brand relatable.
Human.
You can have the most informative content in the world.
But if it's dry and impersonal,
People won't connect with it.
storytelling makes your message memorable.
Evokes emotions, builds trust.
And the Digimarc podcast specifically recommended using case studies
And client testimonials.
because you're not just talking about yourself,
You're letting others share their positive experiences.
which builds credibility.
And trust.
It's social proof in action.
Exactly.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Digimarc also touched on something I think is perfect for you. Interactive content. Quizzes, calculators, polls.
Anything that gets people involved
Because it makes learning more fun.
and engaging. It can also help you assess understanding.
And provide personalized feedback.
Exactly.
So you're turning passive consumers into active participants.
And that translates to more time spent with your brand.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've talked about creating amazing content.
Right.
But what good is it if no one sees it?
Exactly. We need to get it out into the world.
What did Digimarc have to say about content distribution?
They offered some really practical tips.
Like what?
Building an email list is a classic.
But it's effective.
It's a direct line to people who are interested in what you offer.
So you can share your latest content.
Offer exclusive insights.
Nurture those relationships.
Precisely.
And, of course, we can't forget social media.
It's such a powerful tool.
But it's not just about posting randomly.
It's about understanding your audience.
And tailoring your content accordingly.
It's about finding your tribe.
And engaging authentically.
Exactly.
This is starting to feel like a well-oiled content marketing machine.
Right.
We're creating valuable content, optimizing it for search engines.
And strategically distributing it.
But how do we know if it's actually working?
That's a crucial question.
Creating content is only half the battle.
We also need to measure our success.
Okay, so what did Mark have to say about that?
They highlighted the importance of tracking key metrics.
Like organic traffic, right?
Yes. If you're seeing an increase in people finding your website through search,
Without having to pay for ads.
it's a good sign your content is ranking well.
Okay, organic traffic, got it.
And remember those valuable backlinks we talked about?
Those votes of confidence from other websites.
Exactly. Tracking those is another important indicator of success.
Okay, backlinks and organic traffic, what else?
Engagement metrics.
How are people interacting with your content?
Are they spending time on your page? Clicking through to other content?
Sharing it on social media.
Exactly.
So we want people to actually read our content.
Not just glance at it and move on.
We want them to find it valuable.
These engagement metrics give you insights,
Into what's resonating with your audience.
so you can refine your strategy.
So before we jump into refining strategies,
Let's take a closer look at some potential challenges.
okay, challenges.
I'm all ears.
Let's unpack those in part 2 of our deep dive.
Sounds good.
Welcome back. You know, one challenge I think a lot of people face is feeling overwhelmed by all the content out there.
It's true. Like, how do you even stand out?
Right. It's like a crowded marketplace.
It can be discouraging for sure.
So how did Ditchmark address this challenge of content saturation?
Yeah, what did they say?
They really emphasized the importance of finding your niche.
Okay, your niche, your unique angle.
Don't try to be everything to everyone.
Focus on a specific audience.
Right, with content that speaks directly to them.
So become that go-to expert in a particular area.
Exactly. And that kind of leads us to another challenge.
Okay, what's that?
Maintaining consistency.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. It's one thing to create a few amazing pieces of content.
But to do it consistently.
Week after week.
Month after month.
Life gets in the way.
Inspiration comes and goes.
True.
Yeah, so how do you stay on track?
Ditchmark recommended something really helpful.
Oh,
Develop an editorial calendar.
an editorial calendar.
Okay, it's like a content roadmap.
Outlining what you'll create
You'll publish it.
and how you'll promote it.
Exactly.
That's brilliant. It takes the guesswork out of it.
keeps you organized.
And speaking of staying organized,
Let's talk about proving ROI.
return on investment.
Businesses want to see results from their content marketing.
Leads, sales, brand awareness.
Yeah.
Something tangible, right?
Exactly.
And how do we demonstrate that content is worth the investment?
Digimarc's advice was to establish clear KPIs from the start.
Key performance indicators.
Yeah. What are your specific goals?
Do you want to generate leads, drive traffic, increase brand awareness?
Once you know what success looks like.
You can track your progress and demonstrate the value.
Exactly. Content marketing shouldn't be aimless.
It needs to be aligned with your overall business goals.
Now, shifting gears a bit,
Okay?
let's talk about keyword research.
Keyword research.
Have you ever wondered how to ensure your content shows up in search results?
All the time.
That's where keyword research comes in.
Okay, I've heard the term, but to be honest, it sounds a bit technical.
It's actually pretty simple. Think of it like this.
Yeah.
You're trying to understand what your potential clients are searching for.
What words and phrases they're using.
Exactly.
So if I'm offering, say, yoga classes,
Right.
I'd want to know if people are searching for yoga for beginners.
Or yoga studios near me.
Maybe even yoga for back pain.
Exactly. Keyword research helps you understand those search terms.
And then you incorporate them into your content.
It's like speaking your audience's language.
So search engines can connect them with you.
Precisely.
So it's not just about creating great content.
It's about making sure it's optimized for search.
How do you actually do keyword research?
There are a lot of tools and techniques.
But you can start by brainstorming topics related to your work.
Then use a keyword research tool to see how often people are searching for those terms.
I bet there are tools that can help you discover related keywords too.
You're right. Those tools can be really helpful.
Okay, so once you've identified those keywords,
How do you actually use them?
yeah, that's the big question.
It's about weaving them naturally into your content.
So, like your headlines,
Headlines, subheadings, body text.
even image descriptions.
You got it. But it's not about keyword stuffing.
It needs to sound natural
Your content needs to be valuable to your audience.
and optimized for search engines.
It's finding that sweet spot.
I like it.
Now, remember Digimarc talked about 10x content?
Right, creating something truly exceptional.
It's about going above and beyond.
But what does that actually look like?
Think in-depth guides, original research, expert interviews.
Stunning visuals, interactive elements.
Yes.
So in your field, you could create an ultimate guide to, say, mastering a specific yoga pose.
I love that example.
You could break down the anatomy,
Yeah.
offer modifications for different skill levels,
Interview renowned yoga teachers
create videos demonstrating the pose.
from multiple angles.
Now that's 10x content.
You're creating a comprehensive resource that people will love.
Okay, I'm getting it.
Presentation matters too, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Make sure your content is visually appealing and easy to digest.
I'm so bad at this, I tend to create these huge walls of text.
It's a common problem.
But how do you make content more visually appealing?
Use headings and subheadings, bullet points, numbered lists.
Images, graphics, videos.
Exactly.
A few formatting tweaks can make a huge difference.
And remember, different types of content work better with different formats.
True.
A video might be perfect for a tutorial.
And an infographic might be best for data.
It's about choosing the right format for the content and the audience.
Okay, back to content distribution.
Right.
We talked about email lists and social media.
But there are other strategies too.
Like what?
Have you ever considered guest posting?
Guest posting, I've heard of it.
It's basically writing articles for other websites in your industry.
So you're borrowing someone else's platform to reach a wider audience.
Exactly. You get exposed to new people,
And you can usually link back to your own website.
which drives traffic and boosts SEO.
So it's a win-win.
It helps you build brand awareness, generate leads.
And establish yourself as an expert.
Exactly. What about engaging in online communities?
We touched on that briefly.
Let's say you join online forums or Facebook groups for yoga enthusiasts.
Okay.
You could participate in discussions, offer advice.
Even share links to your content.
Exactly.
So you're adding value to the conversation,
Building relationships.
not just spamming people.
Precisely.
This is all starting to sound like a well-coordinated machine.
We're creating valuable content, optimizing it, distributing it strategically.
Building relationships.
But remember, content marketing is an ongoing process.
Yeah, it's not a one-time thing.
You have to consistently create, promote, analyze, and refine.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. Be patient.
Content marketing takes time.
But with consistency and perseverance,
And a willingness to learn.
you can build a sustainable content engine.
This has been so helpful. I feel much more confident about content marketing now.
I'm glad to hear that.
But before we wrap up,
Yeah,
are there any common mistakes we should be aware of?
that's a great question. We'll cover those in the last part of our deep dive.
Sounds good. Okay, we're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into marketing de conteúdo.
And we left off talking about potential pitfalls, right?
Exactly. We've covered some awesome strategies.
But it's important to be aware of those common mistakes.
So let's talk about those blunders so we can avoid them.
What's the first one?
Well, I think one of the biggest mistakes is not knowing your audience.
Yeah, you can't just create content and hope people will like it.
It's like setting sail without a map.
You're going to end up lost.
So how do you get to know your audience?
Conduct thorough audience research.
Create detailed buyer personas.
Think about their demographics, their goals, their challenges.
I love that idea of buyer personas.
It helps you visualize your ideal client.
And then you can tailor your content.
Exactly.
Right? Audience research. Check. What's next?
Don't forget about content promotion.
Right. You can't just hit publish and hope for the best.
It's like baking a cake and leaving it in the kitchen.
No one's going to taste it.
So have a strategic distribution plan.
Use email marketing, social media.
Guest posting, engage in online communities.
And remember, content promotion is ongoing.
It's not a one-time thing.
It's like tending a garden.
You have to nurture it.
Okay, what about the content itself?
Don't focus too much on quantity over quality.
Ah, yes, that old saying.
It's better to have a few amazing pieces.
And a ton of forgettable ones.
Exactly. Focus on providing real value.
And don't forget to proofread.
Oh yeah, typos and grammatical errors can really hurt your credibility.
It's worth taking the time to polish your content.
Make it shine.
Okay. Any other big picture mistakes?
Don't neglect to measure your results.
Right. Data is our friend.
Track your website traffic, engagement, backlinks, conversions.
Oh, we can see what's working.
And what's not.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
I agree.
I feel so much more prepared to tackle content marketing.
Remember, it's a journey.
We're always learning.
Experimenting, evolving.
With the right mindset and the right tools.
We can all create amazing content.
Content that connects with our audience.
And helps us achieve our goals.
Exactly. So go out there and create content that matters.
And if you ever need a refresher,
you know where to find us.
Until next time, happy content creating.